Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have a 2016 Mazda 6. This is just kind of a tutorial for myself and for, I suppose, anyone that wants to know. About a week or so ago, 2 weeks maybe ago, I put up intake ports being cleaned. Lo and behold, it's blue again. Intake ports being cleaned on one of these, okay? That's what I'm doing on this, but it's not anywhere like what we had and nearly not my issue. Intake ports, that's what I diagnosed it as to start with, P0 101, but that's not what I'm doing the video about. What I'm actually doing the video about is our EGR system and how it works. On the last video, what I done was I pointed out we had an EGR valve sitting over here and we had one sitting here, okay? This one is the one that sits on there. Okay, we'll leave it up there. Now, this one is the one that sat on the front, wherever it may be, of the intake manifold, with this pipe joining it out the very, very front, and that pipe is coming from that EGR cooler, okay? Now, what another tech had said to me, or I stated that we had, let me see, this was the low pressure EGR valve because it was coming through this pipe and through this cooler. And I stated that this was the high pressure. And I'm putting my hands up, I am wrong. Okay? There is not a high and a low pressure EGR system on this engine. Okay? So I'm saying on this occasion, I am wrong. There is not a high and a low pressure. But what I am saying, if you see in comments on the last video, I am stating that we do have two EGR valves. One is leaving exhaust gas flow through the cooler. Two is coming direct from the head up into the intake manifold. Now, why? What I'm suggesting, I'm not the oracle and I can't tell you that I'm 100% right, but I'm going to give you my thought process on it. Two EGR valves, two of them are high pressure, one of them has a cooler, one of them doesn't. What I'm stating on cold startup, it's going to use this EGR valve through that pipe, coming direct from the head. That then, port, joins on to that port, comes in through, down that little canal here, up through that little pipe there, and that is using or being used to heat the engine from cold start, to get it up to operating temperature as fast as the engine can. So it's using exhaust gas out through this, up into the intake manifold to warm up the engine. Now, again, I could be wrong. Put it in your comments, please. What I'm saying then at that opposite side of it is, once the car is hot and they're trying to reduce NOx gases, not saying that they don't use that at all, but I'm saying not as much in my mindset. When the car is hot and they want to reduce NOx emissions, they're sending exhaust gas through an EGR cooler, up through that pipe, in through that EGR valve, and in here, which then in turn comes down that little canal and out through that thing again. Right, we're getting that so far. Now, what I'm going to show is, people have said to me, no, in the head there's two ports. This one is connected directly onto the cooler, or the cooler bolts directly onto it. This one is bolted directly onto that EGR valve. There is no cooler in situ. Both of them are connected. So they're coming from the same place, just taking exhaust gas through the head from the exhaust manifold, or whatever you want to call it over that way, exhaust ways. Both of them are joined. So both of them have the same exhaust gas sitting here at the head. Now, coming out, as we said, they're controlled differently via that EGR valve and or that EGR valve. That was called an EGR cooler bypass. I'm calling that an EGR valve. Only the pat that's coming through is through a cooler. I'm also calling that an EGR valve. Only the pat that's coming through does not have a cooler. Now, where the two of them bolt onto the intake manifold, again, in here and in here, down that pipe and down to that little thing, they are also joined together And I could have sent that thing down here and out in here if I wanted, but look, we don't need to. They are coming down there together. So there's 2 high pressure EGR valves on this car. And they're controlling NOx gas as much as they can together, in a sense. And this one does, as I said there, control EGR cooler flow, but I'm calling it an EGR valve because it does more so control EGR flow through the cooler, but it is controlling exhaust gas. That also is controlling exhaust gas. What I'll do when I have this thing assembled, put my hands up, we don't have a low pressure. When I have it assembled, I'll show it reassembled again and where they are again. And what I might do at that stage is disconnect, create fault codes, and see what the actual car is calling that one and or that one. As I said, they're calling this an EGR flow valve. I'm calling it an EGR valve. Or an EGR cooler bypass, or some of this crap anyway. I'm just calling it an EGR valve. We'll see if there's an EGR valve 1, an EGR valve 2, or an EGR cooler bypass valve, or what we'll get on fault codes, okay? That's my little tutorial on today, because I was wrong. There is not a high and a low pressure. Low pressure will be getting taken from the exhaust further back, and it's not getting taken from the exhaust further back with a exhaust or a throttle body thing on the exhaust flap, or maybe they call it, to create back pressure. That's not there, okay? So there are 2 high pressure EGR valves, I'm saying. We'll get it assembled, create fault codes, and see where we're going to go. Okay guys, I have my intake manifold on and my vacuum pump replaced, and I'm just out of putting it together, pulling it out from where I had it in here, and had the battery out, and I have no fault codes at this point in time. I didn't clear them, just that they must have been when I disconnected the battery that I got rid of my P0101. Not that we said that matters, but at this point in time we have no fault codes. Okay. What I want to do then is I want to go out and I'm going to have a look, and as I said, I'm going to start disconnecting things. So, the car is running now, but I keep it close to me rather than close to the engine so you can hear me. I'm believing that is the EGR valve that is leaving exhaust gas from the head through the cooler and into the intake manifold. I believe that is the EGR valve that is just leaving it straight into the head, no cooler involved. Now what I'm thinking is, we're going to go along and I'm going to disconnect some of them. So we've no fault code, you saw. I'm going to go in. You see where it is? Okay, off we go. Now, she changed her tone and everything there. In theory, if our thinking is right, and this is kind of up for debate, I'm not doing this for a preaching theory, and I'm just putting it out there for us all to school ourselves, dare I say. Now, me to school myself, because I've learned more off of the comments and stuff that you guys have been. Okay, we're going stalling. Continue. Just see what faults we have. We had a check engine light on actually there. I don't know. Okay, right. P2495. God knows. EGR gas recirculation cooler bypass control circuit range performance. Now that's what the lads had said to me in the comments, that one of them is an EGR bypass. Okay, so we see that. We're seeing that, we're getting it. That's what the car is calling it. That's what the snap-on is calling it. Don't know what the P2465, whatever it was. So this is the EGR cooler bypass. So if that, what I'm calling it, an EGR valve, is open, well, it's not going through the EGR cooler, so it's bypassing the EGR cooler. Okay, it's an EGR valve. Now, I'm putting that back on. We're going to get no faults again. And just see what the next one is. We'll actually log these for ourselves. It'd be nice to get a screenshot of that. Okay, back. We're after reconnecting it. We're going to go back again. Yeah, we can get clear codes in here. Continue. Exit. Service codes. Codes. Continue. Okay, no codes. So the car is calling that an EGR cooler bypass. Back. I'm going to start it again. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to do that. Continue. Okay, we're up and running again. Now, we saw we have no fault codes there. I'm going out again. We're going to disconnect the opposite one and just see what it calls that. Okay. It'll have to see a circuit open there. Maybe we might need to. She has changed her tone again. Service codes. Cam codes. Exhaust gas recirculation sensor A. That's kind of a, it's kind of like the P1000 on a Ford, is it? I don't know. But anyway, that's called that exhaust gas recirculation sensor A. It didn't call the other one B. Our fault code is P0406. So maybe what guys are doing is going from fault codes back on. But I'm stating that both of them are EGR valves, and we've actually seen that for definite on the disassembly. I think I have to stall this thing again. On disassembly, both of them are controlling exhaust gas recirculation or exhaust gas flow. The long and short of it is that one of them is going through the cooler and one of them is not. Service codes. Not that we need to see this crack again now, because we have no codes in there because we're just after clearing them. But my belief anyway, and my statement, and I'm only using this as what I know. So as I said, don't take me as being gospel at all. What I'm stating is that both of these are EGR valves, but one of them is called a different name by the manufacturers of Mazda. Whoever makes it, wherever it's made, God knows. But this forum, YouTube, for me, has taught me more in the last, maybe become a better technician in the last 2 years from the communication with ye guys. So I'm doing this to teach me, to teach ye, for us all to see it as a community. And look, I love this. I love learning. I love ye telling me stuff. I love if I'm telling ye stuff and you're learning stuff off it. So this is just it. I'm stating that with two EGR valves. One of them is called an EGR cooler bypass. That's that EGR valve. And that then is called the EGR circuit A. Okay, so maybe it's using that, and then when it wants to bypass the cooler, it uses that EGR valve. But there's two of them in there, for definite. Guys, I don't know whether this is any good. It could be silly, it could be waste of time. But anyway, I'm putting it up so I can get comments and so you can give me what you're thinking. Hopefully along the way we'll all learn. And I really do appreciate all your comments, all your information that you're giving me. Every day of the week we talk about stuff that I've learned from ye that I'm utilising in my workshop here. So yeah, look, neither here or there. It's just a schoolboy exercise I'm doing here. Every day is a school day. I look forward to the comments and see you next cartoon. Peter Kennedy signing out. Guys, hope you got something for it. Talk soon.